here is Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert explaining to Steve Bannon why they are not going to pass at this time their own stop the government from regulating gas stoves bill. And to be clear,
it's like 8 seasons ago.
Well, they're in power now, but remember what happened. There was increasing studies that showed that and when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Having an open kerosene flame burning in your apartment, which very often doesn't have great airflow, I can tell you, based upon the stink of my cat's poop. You don't necessarily have the airflow in your apartment, and you think you do. Burning this kerosene, essentially, natural gas, whatever it is, apparently emits some toxins that are neurotoxins and impact the brain development of children and adults, for that matter.
What do you mean burning stuff gives stuff off?
Yeah, I know that's weird. Really, I know that's a weird concept. And after years and years of research, people are finding that that's the case. And so there is a move to ban, and it hasn't been imposed yet, although I think in New York City it is. New York City has imposed new buildings should not have gas. They should have conductive stoves, I guess it is, which, chefs are finding are, better ways to cook. But the conservatives in this country felt that was an attack on freedom, and they want their freedom stoves, even if it poisons people.
Freedom particles.
Let's bring back the lead in gasoline, too, while we're at it, and in paint. And they're going to pass legislation to stop the government from any possible regulations in the future, because it's basically their sequel to the light bulbs controversy. And yet they're so mad at not being able to bring up legislation to protect a certain accessory for handguns that they're going to crash this bill.
Are you guys now going to force, nothing's going to come to the floor until the pistol brace vote comes up?
I only speak for myself in this regard, but I am not voting for any rule to advance any other piece of legislation to the floor before that pistol brace bill is heard. Because it's not Andrew Clyde that's the victim here. It's the tens of millions of Americans, many of whom served our country, their mental health put in jeopardy, potentially their liberty put in jeopardy. And what I worry about now is whether or not that bill will pass, because I'm already now hearing rumblings, and Lauren is the co-chair of our Second Amendment caucus, but that some of the moderates now in a retaliatory effort might just vote against the bill. So we still need
American
the posse.
Citizens.
Yeah, we need the posse to be calling offices and telling folks that they want them to be a yes on that pistol brace bill.
And when do you think pistol brace, if you've stopped the gas stove messaging bill, you've stopped the REINS Act messaging bill, when can people anticipate? Is this all week just going to be a fight between you guys in leadership, trying to a show of muscle about what can come to the floor and can't?
It's a very dynamic situation, Steve.
We love it. Can you guys stay one more segment?
Oh my God.
And Andrew Clyde, the Republican from Georgia, is the person that they're defending his honor in terms of the stabilizer bill, because he drafted it, and they are suspecting that McCarthy and leadership are refusing to put it on the floor because he didn't vote for the debt ceiling bill.
What is the deal with these pistol braces? What is the legislation supposed to be?
To avoid the ATF legislating that or issuing a rule that to limiting pistol stabilizer.
My understanding is that they had the ATF had said that they're not subject to any regulation at this point. They're basically just they sort of convert a pistol into I guess more of a rifle, but I don't know that it actually changes the amount that you can fire. It just makes it more it makes it more steady if you're going in and trying to shoot up a school or like a theater. It gives you the opportunity to, have better aim with just a handgun. So just to be clear on why you need that. Or I guess if you decide you want to go hunting with your handgun, but you're...
love to shoot deer with my handgun.
Yeah. I mean, what else is this for? I guess it's maybe for like target practice, but why would you, why not just shoot a rifle? It's just ridiculous. These people are
Psychos.
Absolute.
But it's amazing to me because
ammo psychotic.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But it's amazing to me last week, Kevin McCarthy, after the debt ceiling the deal was reached and the bill was passed, basically being like, I feel great. Like, I couldn't feel any better. Like, now that I know that Democrats will vote for, expanding some work requirements and, permitting or whatever the case may be, whatever was included in the bill. He seemed so confident that obviously he got it through with the majority and Democrat support. And then already the Freedom Caucus is basically wildcat striking him.
Well, yeah, I guess. But I mean, what legislation are they going to pass anyways? They don't. I mean, they don't. I don't. At this point, they don't. It's all just meaningless, culture war signifier.
Well, supposedly he wants to pass those 12 appropriations bills for 12 committees, which I think will be, if they can't get the gas stoves thing across the line, I can't imagine they'll be able to appropriate.
They were never going to do the appropriations anyways, it seems to me. But here is NewsMax's Betsy McCaughey. Is it McCaughey or McConaughey? McCaughey. With Representative Andy Ogles asking what Republicans can do to impose more work requirements on Americans. Reminder, Arkansas imposed work requirements on their Medicaid recipients and gave a wonderful opportunity to study the efficacy of work requirements. And what work requirements do is do nothing except for kick people off the rolls. Nobody gets more work. Which is really odd considering one would assume that people are just specifically, they want to get the free health care and that's why and they don't want to work. And they're getting a bonus. It's just a way of kicking people off the rolls, even people who are working. It's just that you're adding another layer of bureaucracy. But this is NewsMax Wake Up America show.
Congressman, I want to break in on two issues. First, are we going to be able to make any more progress in stopping the Democrats from giving all the money away to people who refuse to work? I know that was a sticking point in the debt ceiling negotiations. And secondly, what can you do to keep them out of our kitchens? I love my gas stove.
Well, so I'm a country boy from that lives in Tennessee. We have a gas stove. We live back in the valley on top of a hill, and so when the ice storms come in Tennessee, we may be locked in for a few days, and so I need my gas stove. My family needs the gas stove, right? And quite frankly, gas is more efficient than electric. So that being said, we've got to advance that. But I think what you're seeing here is this bill is being held up temporarily so that we can make sure that Americans who own these pistol braces get their fair shake. Now, that being said,
oh my God, they're insane. First off, his gas stove, he'd be able to keep it in there and poison the hell out of his family for as long as he wants. To the extent that there would be any type of regulation, it would be new builds.
Also, like the stoves might have continued working in this specifically, like the Texas thing, but those like lines, like the Texas freeze was because of fossil fuel capacity that wasn't prepared to be weatherized.
He's talking about having a tank outside your house.
Yeah.
And a local tank, I would imagine, is what he's talking about. If he's in that rural of an area, which, okay. Pass a law that just says people who live in are not connected to the grid. Now, what you could also do is improve the grid.
Right.
Maybe what you could do is put those lines underground.
Rural electrification, that has a history in this country.
But this is just the latest thing that they're hoping will resonate, just like the light bulbs and the shower heads and all of it. Just unbelievable. Incredibly juvenile.
Interesting that Mark Halperin has made it over to NewsMax. That
Why wouldn't he?
new lease on life, Mark Halperin.
Honestly, like, how desperate do you got to be?
Exactly.
Jesus.